It's official, Phineas and Ferb is coming back with 2 new seasons, 7 whole years after the final episode came out, and that's pretty much all we know so far. But this already gives us plenty of room to speculate on what these new seasons could bring. But first, however, we should ask ourselves, should Phineas and Ferb actually come back, or should the show have stayed, dead? And should we be excited about these new seasons? Revivals often fail to match up to the original run of a show, that's no secret, not to mention the writers kinda wrote themselves into a corner with some of their choices, like having Doof turn to the good side on the last day of summer, or giving us a flash-forward episode about the ultimate fate of Phineas and Isabella's relationship. So in this video, we'll be speculating about just that. We will be trying to determine when exactly the events of these new seasons will be taking place, and I'll be telling you my predictions for these new episodes, and you might wanna listen carefully, cause I'm a Phineas and Ferb expert. They don't just give these Phineas and Ferb doctorates out to anybody, you know?
Anybody with $15 they do.
That's enough looking.
Lots of shows get brought back from the dead in this brutal and greedy Disney-dominated world. But the question is, does it make sense for a show like Phineas and Ferb to come back after so many years? Especially after the extremely satisfying finale they gave us. The thing is, in case you didn't know, it was the show's co-creators, Bob and Maya and Swampy's choice to actually end the series back in 2015, as they thought the show should have gone out strong without overstaying its welcome. But apparently something changed along the way, and we're getting 2 brand new seasons somehow. Everybody's hyped, including me, I admit, but because the writers decided to end the series back then, a series finale was made. It's called Last Day of Summer and not Act Your Age, do not confuse the two, and it's amazing, really. It managed to wrap up everything nicely, it even had the characters say goodbye to the audience with one final musical number, and it also gave us the final twist of Dr. D turning to the good side. So are these new seasons gonna end up ruining the finale we already got? In my opinion, yes and no. I mean, it won't be ruined, but unfortunately the final episode, along with the song Curtain Call Time Spent Together, will inevitably end up feeling less special no matter how good these new seasons will be. Of course, we can hope they come up with another finale that's so great that it ends up outshining Last Day of Summer, but I doubt that's gonna happen. But hey, Dan, Swampy, changed my mind. But the bigger question here is, are they gonna screw this up, plot-wise? Especially now that Doof is a do-gooder.
Doing good. Just for the sake of doing good, or what exactly do good guys do?
To answer this, we should probably speculate on what the possible time frame for these new seasons could be, cause it's crucial the writers decide wisely when these new seasons will be taking place. I really believe the show's success depends on this choice. So one of the possible scenarios would be a continuation of what we already got, meaning we're getting more episodes set in that very same summer, taking place in some unspecified time between the pilot and the finale. Case in point, the recent Candace movie of 2020 is said to be set sometime before the series finale, but they never really told us when. However, that will probably cause the show to become pretty stale and repetitive, much like The Simpsons. Not to mention, the writers already stretched our suspension of disbelief enough at this point, with an unrealistically long summer of 104 days, and yet somehow more than 104 episodes.
Has it only been 3 months? Cause I've been adding up all the things we built this summer, and we're way over 150.
Bob and Meyer did justify this by explaining that multiple episodes take place on the same day, and we can accept that, but we can't keep adding episodes to this already never-ending summer. So I doubt this will be it, or at least I hope so, because I believe the creators would want to keep the show fresh and to actually move forward. Which, of course, led me to distinguish between 3 different possible time frames for these new seasons. First scenario, the show could be taking place on the very next summer. Second scenario, it could be set in the fall and or winter right after the end of The Boys' summer. Or third, they could do some sort of continuation of the episode Act Your Age, having both seasons set 10 years into the future with Phineas and Ferb as teenagers. But let me tell you now that even though lots of fans would love to see this, it's most certainly not gonna happen. After all, a 10-year jump wouldn't be doable because these new seasons will become so completely different from the original run of the show. Plus, I doubt they can come up with enough interesting stories now that all the characters have parted ways. Everybody's off to a different college, and even Ferb is studying in the UK, and at the same time Doof is leaving evil behind for good, so he wouldn't really have much to do. After all, do-gooders are not that interesting to watch, and I guess we would all love to see more of Heinz's delirious evil plans. The same of course goes for Candace, as she wouldn't really have much to do either. So I'm sorry Finabella fans, that's not gonna happen. So this only leaves us with the next summer and the post-summer possibilities. The next summer thing would be doable, and it's the most likely scenario if you ask me, but again, the writers would need to rely on some twists to make this new summer feel different from the original one, with new storylines, character development, whatever. Otherwise, we're back to square one, and seasons 5 and 6 would feel extremely repetitive and unnecessary. Also, having these new seasons take place on the next summer would work really well with Doof's storyline as well, since we know Heinz will temporarily become evil again by Christmas time, so he could stay evil till the very end of the following summer, and then, again, turn good once and for all. But without a doubt, the ideal choice for me would be to have the story pick up where it left off, starting with the first day of school, or technically the first day after the last day of summer, whatever, same thing. And this would be pretty smart because of the significant change of setting, you know, with the boys and Candace going to school, and even Doof being Vanessa's teacher and then working for Alka along with Perry. And perhaps we could see the journey of Doof turning evil again by Christmas, coming up with some mysterious scheme that could progress over the course of the first season or something. That would be the dream, honestly. This scenario, however, has a huge problem called Milo Murphy's Law. This show has been chipping away at Phineas and Ferb's continuity since the beginning of its second season. Why, you ask? Because it has Doof move out of his building and move in with another family, becoming a full-fledged recurring character in another show. This makes the time period between the original summer and the next one extremely messy because of Milo Murphy's Law's many inconsistencies with the original Phineas and Ferb universe. And why do I keep saying these long-ass sentences? To be honest, the continuity of Milo is so confusing for me that I'd love for that show to be erased completely from Phineas and Ferb's canon. It would be so much better if the two shows happened in two parallel universes or something, or on different timelines maybe. I don't know, Milo just confuses me. Nonetheless, these two seem to be the most plausible options for the new season's time frame, and I honestly put all my money on the next summer scenario. Of course, I'm praying we will be getting the post-summer one, with the writers trying to make it all work with the Milo Murphy's Law continuity, but still, do tell me your thoughts about this in the comments, cause I'd love to know what you guys think. After all, the time for speculation is now, so go! However, no matter the time period for these new seasons, actor age is still gonna prevent any kind of development in Phineas and Isabella's relationship. Cause thanks to that episode, we now know for sure nothing is ever gonna happen between those two in the following 10 years. Unless, again, they take actor age out of the show's canon, but that's never gonna happen because they're not gonna remove stuff from canon just because I don't like it. Bummer. As for my predictions on the overall quality of these new seasons, we're at an extremely early stage and it's way too soon to tell what these new seasons will be like for sure, but I do have a lot of faith in the writers considering how great Candace Against the Universe was, so I do give them the benefit of the doubt. Granted, lots of people did not really love the movie for some reason, fair enough, but honestly, personally, I think it's one of the best pieces of Phineas and Ferb content we ever got. Especially because of the higher stakes of the story and those more introspective character moments. And also of course the music, which is just amazing. In fact, I'm extremely hyped and curious to listen to the new Phineas and Ferb songs. Those are probably gonna be the best part of it all. So I do have high hopes here, mostly because I'm a relentlessly optimistic person in general, but I'm putting a lot of faith in the writers' hands, so they better not screw this up. And please, please pick the right time period for these new seasons. Please, I beg you. They've given the show a great ending once, it was their decision to stop, and now they agreed on making more Phineas and Ferb, so that's a huge responsibility, cause it's on them if they fail. And it's an even bigger responsibility considering that we'll be getting 20 episodes per season, and assuming the format will stay the same, they will be creating approximately 40 segments per season, so 80 segments in total, and that's quite a lot of work on their part. Granted, these are slightly fewer episodes compared to the previous seasons, but I guess that's a good thing cause we do prefer quality over quantity, and I'm praying for the quality to be good. As for one last bit of information, it's not yet clear if the original co-creator, Jet Swampy Marsh, will be returning as well alongside Povenmire, and I do hope so because we must not forget he's just as responsible as Povenmire for the show's creation. But that being said, Povenmire and possibly Swampy, they'd better play their cards right here cause they're risking to ruin everything they created so far, but at the same time, they could be taking the show to the next level with some new plot lines and more grown-up writing. Dumb jokes are fun, but I'd appreciate more elaborate stories. In fact, soon enough, I will be posting a video with my predictions and hopes for what should happen in these new seasons in terms of plots and storylines. However, in case we find out anything new, I will do my best to keep you guys updated through videos, community posts, and maybe even YouTube shorts, even though I've never tried using them before, but I swear I can learn, so stay tuned. Anyhow, I guess I'll see you guys next time, and I'm still so hyped because Phineas and Ferb is back! Ah! Ciao!